This is the story of a mysterious city where an evil yukai comes who has nefarious intentions of devastating the city, but God appoints a human to nip the evil in the bud. Will he be able to save his fellow beings and other yukai of the city? Or does evil yukai succeed? Stay tuned to see what happens next. As the only means of returning the yukai to their home planet, sakura trees are planted. The yukai created Sakurashin as a refuge to hide from humans, and through time it developed into the only secure location where humans and yukai could coexist peacefully. One human living inside the city, a member of the Hizumi family, has the authority to expel the yukai that harm people. An alert playing in real time cautions the public to exercise caution around a fugitive carrying a pistol. The major characters come together in an office to talk about the gunman. While the dragon yukai Hime and the human Akina debate the gun suspect Kusu, Nanami, a white-haired cat yukai, and Kotoha, a yukai with a wide range of abilities, proceed to fix a house. That night, Hime and her companion Toka Kishi pursue the culprit who has the new resident in custody, but he escapes. On live television, Kausu kidnaps a second captive and calls Hime out. When the gang shows up, Kausu tries to blow them all away with his large arsenal. He eventually succumbs to the yukai's combined strength. Because she despises humans, the girl named Rin, whom they earlier saved, tries to shoot Akina. Hime tries to convince Rin that some humans are necessary for the peaceful coexistence of yukai. Another person with white hair and cat ears is discussing the group and how eager he is to fight them somewhere in a lofty building. An elderly man is using tuning to transport a yukai to another realm while his grandson Akina tries to intervene. He considers tuning to be murder. Hime meets with Takagami Yi Shinatsuhiko to discuss Rin's situation in the city, and they resolve to have her live work and attend school there. They declare that they will restrict Rin's movement. Hime introduces Akina to Rin and designates him as Rin's caregiver. He tells her to go to his office, but when he gets there, he discovers that Rin hasn't arrived. In another incident, a wolf yokai named Akina Hiizumi assaults one of the 7 pillars, the supernatural sakura trees that guard the city. When Kyusuke and Hime meet Rin, they accuse Akina of abdicating his responsibility. Hime responds that Akina's tuning power is essential for maintaining the city's calm when Rin questions why Akina is allowed to live there. Nonetheless, Rin believes that tuning is murder. Rin despises people because she has been injured by them on several occasions. Akina thinks of Rin's calling him the killer of yukai. Yokai starts losing control of their abilities all across the city, and Hime encounters Akina, who is outraged because Rin thinks tuning is murder. Akina uses tuning to drive the yokai out of Rin when she starts losing control of her abilities close to her office. The next day, a thankful Rin shows up at Akina's workplace to sell food. Hime remembers while she exercising with Kisuke in her dojo when her grandmother, the prior mayor of the city, passed away and gave her the role of mayor. Hime begins raising a dog named Silver at Akina's workplace. Desperate to raise the dog properly, she feeds it ramen. Fearful of Silver is Nanami. Hime desires to make it wholesome and ride it. It is advised that Akina refrain from performing tuning so carelessly or else he will perish. Akina tells Hime of a citizen's observation that she prioritizes trying to raise Silver over her mayoral responsibilities, and Hime responds that she can handle both tasks without any issues. That night, as Akina is dozing off at his office, Silver breaks into his space and bites him. Angry Hime punches Silver, and despite Nanami's pleading, he departs dejectedly. After striking one of the 7 pillars, Enjin runs into Silver and gives him a yokai, causing Hime to battle him. Enjin informs Silver that Akina holds more value for Hime than he does. Silver is almost attacked by Hime, but Akina interrupts her. Hime asserts that Akina must send the yukai back and that she must defend the town. Hime is instructed by Akina to allow him to handle the Silver or yukai tuning. Akina is compelled to use tuning after the yukai takes over Silver's body, which frees both Silver and the yukai's souls. When discussing Jin Nanami, Nanami's brother with Enjin, Akina, and Hime are interrupted by Yai, who asserts that Jin's soul has probably been annihilated. Hime informs Akina that her municipal hymn has been written and will soon be played on the radio. Enjin realizes that Jin's soul is still there in his body, preventing him from using his full might. Hime's meals for her business travel are prepared by Nanami and Kisuke's sister Kishi. Akina receives ramen from Rin. Enjin questions whether his spirit and abilities are being restrained. Nanami and Kotoha tune into the radio to hear the national anthem. Akina discovers a monkey statue that he received in a competition to eat the most yakisoba with Jin and Hime while looking for headphones for Hime. Hime recalls how Jin won the eating competition by consuming ramen. A miniature monkey toy is shown to them. Akina observes a tree that has some lights flickering. That evening, Engine breaks through the 7 pillars barrier by attacking it. Kotoha, Nanami, and Yai confront his associate Enji, Shinazuka, whom they discover is a Hani just like them. Kotoha faces Engine but decides against using tuning on him after Engine discloses that Jin's soul is still there and is told by Akina to leave Jin's body. Yae Shinetsuhiko, Yi's sister, saves Akina and Engine withdraws. Akina hears the voice of Jin, who is saying goodbye. Kotoha is awakened by Nanami's rising. A sparrow perches on her head as she stands on the terrace. She engages in card games with the group. Hime inquires about Akina, and Nanami replies that she is unsure. After returning from her work trip, Hime starts to play a song that she wrote throughout the city. While the other members enjoy it with the kids, she performs the song. Hime, Nanami, Kotoha, Kyosuke, and Toka agree to run a daycare center, but they struggle to keep the kids under control until Nanami uses her telepathic skills to interact with them. Nanami entertains a young boy named Shuntaku by guessing his name while they speak. Akina speaks with the senior counsel in the interim, who advises him to ignore the fact that Engine is inhabiting Jin's body. Akina meets Yae afterwards and requests that she keep his experience with Engine private. Nanami accidentally discloses a promise made by the reclusive boy Junta to his missing father when she reads his mind. As a result, Junta flees. Engine is met by Yae, who warns him that he will pay a price if he tricks the goddess. She is attacked by Engine, but she deflects the blow. After harming Junta, Nanami is concerned. Nanami is upset and declines to use her telepathy. After locating the boy's father with the help of Akina and Hime, Nanami apologizes to the junta. Nanami notices Engine hovering in the sky as she unwinds on one of the 7 pillars. When Engine vanishes, Nanami tells Akina about it, and she begs him to keep the information private. Engine allows Shinazuka to do as he pleases as his body starts to hurt from Jin's body resisting him. Hime invites Kotoha to be her training partner because she has plans to go to Germany and have a Karnanamike party with her pals. Hime uses her spear to penetrate Kotoha's plane ticket to Germany during the training. Kotoha summons an 88mm gun out of rage. Kotoha apologizes to Hime after Kyusuke blocks the shot. When out of control, Kotoha, according to Kyusuke, is the most hazardous of all. The group is all taken aback by Kotoha's skills and abilities. Kotoha is described as being half human and half yukai by Akina. Hime sings while she exercises. She's competing in a Karnanamite competition. Shinazuka kidnaps Kotoha's friends that night and entices her to the river. Kotoha makes an effort to fight him, but he deflects all of her blows and tries to persuade her to join him because of the treatment she had previously experienced from people for being handy. Shinazuka withdraws when Hime approaches and reminds Kotoha that she is fundamentally a person. Shinazuka is attacked by Hime, but she is stopped and he manages to flee. Kotoha accuses herself of abducting her companion. She is also disappointed that her vacation to Germany was a disaster. In the pub, Rin discusses the festival and her outfit with a man. As the heirs of the Hizumi and Yarizakura families, respectively, Akina and Hime are the major players in the preparations for the annual event honoring the 7 pillars. Everyone is enthusiastically getting ready for the ceremony. Hime and her team are conversing and working together as well. Hime enters a shrine centered on one of the 7 pillars with the dragon spear and offers a prayer for the town's continued safety. Children also enjoying the festival. After the event, Akina and Hime attend the party at Akina's workplace where everyone becomes drunk from the alcoholic yokai water. According to Kyusuke, a lady needs to be an outstanding cook to be happy. Nobody is willing to listen to Hime when she tries to share her experience with presenting the spear. At night, Hime and Akina return on foot. The following morning, after receiving word from Engine that he has abducted Nanami, Akina, Hime, Kotoha, and Kyusuke, they travel to the shrine to see him. Nanami dreams that Jin hands her a cheesecake, but it spills out on the floor. Gin's soul is in Engin's possession, he tells her. Enjin claims Nanami attempts to kill her brother with a knife but is unsuccessful. Enjin, who also wishes to attend the event, asks that Akina open the shrine's gate. He wants to nourish Nanago's roots and bring about growth. Hime slams into him. Shinazuka is attacked by Kotoha and Nanami, but he can avoid all of their blows. Also attacking Akina is Enjin. Enjin recognizes that Hime is afraid to engage in a serious battle with him since he is inside Jin's body and overcomes her using the telepathic powers of Jin's body. Enjin claims to be able to read Hime's thoughts. He avoids Hime by using delusion. Yale intends to join the fight after seeing that Hime cannot beat Enjin but Maribel. Yi's assistant informs her that Yai has barred her from doing so. By holding Hime captive, Enjin compels Akina to unlock the shrine's entrance, which Akina accomplishes. Kotoha defends herself against Shinazuka's onslaught. The sight of the flames and explosion terrified everyone in the city. Hime is informed by Akina that Jin still lives inside Enjin. Enjin is permitted to enter the shrine, where he begins to compel the tree to bloom despite Ye throwing one of her swords into his back. Because if the Nanago trees blossom, the city will collapse and everyone is afraid to witness the trees bloom. Hime chops off a piece of the tree with the dragon spear to halt the process. For the residents of the center, Toka makes lunch. Hime confronts the senior council and learns that one of them has a serious injury. This is because every senior council member is connected to one of the 7 pillars. Several Yuki start losing control of their abilities in the meantime. Toka breaks a car unintentionally while using her Oni powers and is taken to the hospital. Kosuke approaches Akina, accusing him of lacking the willpower to use tuning on Enjin to correct the situation. The Nanago flowering has many people feeling unwell. Nanami tries to visit Hime but discovers that she is busy training. Akina is blamed by Kosuke for all the difficulties. He claims that things might be different if Akina sent Enjin to a different universe. Enjin remembers the moment a Hizumi clan member used tuning on him after he said Sakurashin ought to be a city reserved entirely for Yaki. Akina's coat button is fixed by Tuka, and the two discuss Hime and Nanami's emotions. When her brother Jin asked Akina to tune him before Enjin gained control of his soul, Nanami recalls the encounter. Despite the risk to Jin's soul, Nanami meets Akina and orders him to use tuning on Enjin. The senior council members command Akina and Hime to destroy the 7 pillars when they meet with them the following day. The senior council discloses that while the citizens of the city will have to leave if the 7 pillars are destroyed, no portal connecting the yokai and human worlds will be made. He accuses Akina and Hime of failing to perform their duties correctly. Hime is incapable of calming the town's residents when they express doubt about the choice. She recalls the day when Jin gave her a scarf when she was a young girl. While making her routine rounds through the city, she discovers that Akina has advised the populace to hide in secure areas. She then accuses him of lacking the willpower necessary to defeat Enjin. She claims that Akina is evading the city. Hime tries to beat one of the 2 enormous yokai who is attacking herself but fails. Both are defeated by Akina, Kosuke, and Kotoha, and Hime is taken to the hospital. After awakening, Hime will be well according to the doctors. Hime regrets not being able to perform her mayoral duties. Hime is reminded by Nanami of their joint commitment to guarding the city. Kosuke issues an order for the locals to leave as the 7 pillars begin to develop. Hime sobs inconsolably to Akina in the hospital that she is too frail to save the town on her own, and Nanami advises her to let her friends assist her. While Akina and Kosuke battle the yokai that have started to appear in the city, Nanami and Kotoha hire a vehicle and start looking for the origin of the year's energy that is causing the 7 pillars to develop. The senior council is protected from a yukai by Kosuke. He recalls how Hime saved him and his sister after they were harmed by humans as children. Hime attempts to escape the hospital to assist, but Juri forbids her because of her wounds. Kosuke cautions Akina against going overboard while he tunes the instrument. On the Tokyo Tower, Nanami finds Enjin's. Kotoha and Nanami are reprimanded by Akina and Kosuke for their visit. Later, when Hime awakens, Jinroku, a senior citizen, offers her the head of the dragon spear from the previous generation. As she exits the hospital, she comes across several locals who express their desire to defend the town against the yokai invasion. The yokai shadows that are encircling Nanami and Kotoha are almost too much for them, but Ye rescues them. Nanami and Kotoha rescue Akina and Kisuke after they engage Shinazuka in combat and learn that the tower in the middle of the town is the origin of the year's energy. A train cannon is conjured by Kotoha to strike the tower. Hime assaults Enjin as he approaches one of the 7 pillars and makes it bloom. Hime engages Enjin in combat while using the dragon spear. Enjin understands that Hime now has the power, but he still refuses to use tuning on Enjin when Akina shows up. In Enjin's body, he discerns Jin's likeness. Following his attack on Akina, Enjin vanishes. In a struggle between Kotoha and Shinazuka attempts to kill Kotoha, but Kisuke saves her. Enjin arrives at the senior council's meeting location and makes death threats. When Yi arrives to attack him, Yi instructs her to let Hime do the fighting instead. In another scene, Kotoha battles Shinazuka. After he defeats her, Kisuke joins the battle. Kotoha diverts Shinazuka, but Kisuke captures him behind a car and defeats him. Hime keeps up the struggle, but Enjin uses his scythe to cut her scarf. Enjin is thrown at Akina, who uses tuning on him, and Hime responds by using the entire force of the dragon spear to destroy all of the sakura petals from the 7 pillars. After being liberated from Enjin, Jin thanks Akina and Hime before having his spirit return to the world of yokai. The city will be cleared of cherry blossom petals, it is said. Hime and Kotoha consume noodles. The next day, Hime thanks Akina for fixing her scarf and giving it back to her.